Everybody got so quiet. Welcome to the Tuesday, August 5th meeting of the Hot Springs Board of Directors. We are so excited that you are here tonight, and our prayer will be led by Reverend, it says Mr. Reverend Greg Burse, and after that we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Ooh, would you please stand with me?
I get to say hi to everybody. I just want to thank you guys for your service, your time away from your family, and all that you put into this. And I know the pay is just astronomical. So thank you for what you guys do. Let's pray. Father, I want to thank you so much for our city. You've blessed us with, I believe, the prettiest place to live in America, and we are thankful for that. I thank you for these leaders here. I pray for wisdom, discernment, Father. I pray for justice. I pray for your will to be done here on earth as it is in heaven. We thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this. I thank you for these leaders, and I pray you bless them and their families for the time and energy that they serve you and this city. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I hereby call this meeting to order. Would you please call the roll?
Yes. Davidson.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Clark.
Here.
McCabe.
Here.
Garcia.
Here.
Foley.
Here.
Carney.
Here. Okay, we are all here. The first item of business is to consider the approval of the agenda. Are there any corrections, additions, deletions, or modifications to the agenda, including any items to be removed from the consent agenda? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I so move.
Is there a second? All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no? Okay. The motion is adopted. And the second item of business is to consider, I know what is wrong. It was the coffee. And I think Don Thomason made it just before the meeting. Okay. All right. Consider approval of the minutes of the board meeting. Are there any corrections, additions, deletions, or modifications to the minutes?
Move they be approved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second that they be approved. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. The motion is approved. In an effort to afford everyone an equal and orderly opportunity to address the items on tonight's agenda, I ask that each of our citizens and guests adhere to a 3-minute limit on your comments. And for your convenience, we will display a clock timer on the monitors. And out of respect for all of us, we ask that you please adhere to this request. And while members of the board may have questions of the speakers, I ask that any general comments be reserved for the board discussion after the speakers have been heard. We also ask that all cell phones be silenced during the meeting, and please refrain from any disruptions of the meeting. Should you need to leave prior to the conclusion of the meeting, please do so quietly. And thank you so much for your presence here tonight with us, and we appreciate your interest in the business of our city. At this time, we have some guests to be recognized. Where did she go? Leslie, you're back there on the back. You're usually up here. Okay, would you like to come forward and introduce your guest? We have an honored person here tonight, and that would be our dear Leslie, who is the clerk for our city.
This is the City of Bryant City Clerk, Heather McKim.
Welcome, Heather.
Good evening, Mayor and board members and guests. My name is Heather McKim. I'm the City Clerk from Bryant. I'm here tonight on behalf of the Arkansas City Clerks, Recorders, and Treasurers Association, or ACCRTA. I would like to thank you for allowing me the time to come to your board meeting tonight to present your Deputy City Clerk, Leslie Kaufman, with her Certified Arkansas Municipal Clerk accreditation. To earn this certification in Arkansas is no easy task. Each clerk is required to have a total of 100 credits, 50 in education and 50 in experience. Attendance at a new clerk orientation is required at Municipal League, along with 3 years of attendance at the annual Municipal Clerk Institute held at the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville. Each institute includes 40 hours of actual in-class training. And as if that is not enough, following institute each year, clerks are required to complete a final written report, which is submitted for a grade in order to receive your credits. So it's almost like having a bachelor's degree and being a clerk. It's hard work. Smaller district institute workshops are also offered around the state, as well as Advanced Academy for continuing education for clerks and recorders and treasurers that they need to do their jobs once they've earned their certification. Continuing education is necessary as the laws and policies are ever changing at every level of government, as y'all well know. Leslie volunteered earlier this year to host a district workshop. And I want to thank her for that on behalf of ACCRTA, because I cannot tell you how much work and effort goes into hosting a district workshop. It is very, very hard. There's a lot of things. You have to work out contracts with vendors and transportation and put together speakers. And I mean, it's a big job. And Leslie welcomed, I think we had, how many? 42 city clerks from around Arkansas. I think she had one of the highest attended clerk district workshops that we've had. So I want to thank her for doing that for us. She did all of this while continuing to put her job duties as deputy city clerk first in order to serve your citizens right here in Hot Springs. And she does a fabulous job at that, so let's give her a round of applause. We at the association are very proud of Leslie and her accomplishments since she's been with ACCRTA. She has been a true asset to our organization, and we're thankful to have her input and her energy into our association. She's more than just a city clerk. She is, especially to me, she's a friend and mentor, and I just would like to say thank you for letting her participate, and again, give her congratulations for completing this certificate. It's hard earned.
Thank you. Congratulations, Leslie. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. Thank
And I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to have to put it in the minutes. So.
Good idea. Okay, that was our guest for tonight, and the next item of business is to consider the city manager's report.
Well, thank
Mr.
you, Mayor.
Watkins.
Board members. You probably read in the paper this morning that our award-winning Hot Springs Sister City program was one of only 4 American cities or American groups honored by the Japanese foreign minister. And I think it speaks to the fact that that program has been in effect now 21 years, has provided an opportunity for one culture to visit another. I think if you talk to any parent, student, business person who's participated in that event, it's truly been a bridge builder between 2 countries that are different but yet very similar at the same time. So congratulations to Steve Arison, Mary Nilsson, and the A&P Commission. That's a big honor, huge honor. Also, been a lot of discussion about water, as you might know, and a couple of facts I just wanted to bring up that kind of get lost in the shuffle sometimes. A couple years ago, probably 3, the city had an identifiable line loss, or we call it revenue loss, in its water distribution system of about 40%. The national average is probably around 15 to 20. And our city engineer and our water utility director at the time, and definitely now, has been on a very aggressive program to find those leaks, which really means line replacement, valve replacement, and we've been able to cut that percentage in half, which is outstanding. Also, you hear a lot about rates. The City of Hot Springs water rate is the 29th lowest in the entire state of Arkansas, which has over 880 water utilities, most of them rural. And that puts us in the, I guess, the top 5% in terms of lowest, but a very admirable achievement given the diversity and topography of our utility. So I want to really compliment our staff and the board for funding those improvements. I think it's paying dividends. That's all, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, and the next item is to consider announcements concerning upcoming events by our directors. Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to bring your attention to an event that has been taking place in the Park Avenue area and on second Saturdays of the month, and it's called Summerfest on Park Avenue, and they've been trying different areas. The last, most recently, was in the parking lot between Tower of Strength and the DeLuca's Pizzeria area. But this Saturday, they're going to have a salsa challenge, the kind you eat, not the kind you dance, but with area restaurants, and there will be judging at about 10:30, I understand. So mid-morning, you might want to go down and try some of the different salsas. If you're interested in putting up a booth for those artisans that might be interested in doing something like that, you are to contact Hannah Mills at the Hot Springy Dinghy. Thanks.
Yes, ma'am.
Mine is not new news, it's old news.
Is it upcoming?
It's upcoming, and it's been announced, and I'm very honored to congratulate Jim Fram. He's going to the White House.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very big honor.
Yes, it
He's
is.
going to represent our city.
Yes.
That's all.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to make you aware and invite you to an upcoming public community meeting that will be Thursday this week on the 7th at 4:30 p.m. at the Forest Lakes Clubhouse. Max Distilly with the Stormwater Department for the City of Hot Springs will have a presentation about our siren warning system and the upcoming project there, as well as the Code Red emergency system and how to sign up for that if you are not currently receiving the Code Red emergency notifications, as well as an update on other projects around the city for the Stormwater Department. So that's 4:30 Thursday, Forest Lakes Clubhouse, and you are invited. Thank you.
Mayor, I forgot.
Yes, ma'am.
One more. I'd like to invite you also to an event this Friday night called Birth of an Artist at the Embassy Suites Hotel. It starts at 7 p.m., and this is an event that is sponsored by one of our newer nonprofits called Cutwell for Kids, and by a young man named Anthony Tidwell, who grew up in Hot Springs, was gone for a good bit of time, and decided to come back. And he is a barber, but he is also teaching art lessons in the barbershop. And he's working with students and teaching art lessons. And this is a fundraiser Friday night. They have a considerable prizes for their silent auction. It starts at 7 o'clock. The dress is cocktail attire. Formal was a bit of a stretch for most people, he said. We're real excited about this project because this is a brand new nonprofit, and he's getting really involved in the arts community in Arkansas. Thank you.
Any other upcoming events? I have an upcoming event, which is a consent agenda. It'll happen right after this, but since it's with no discussion, I would like to recognize the people that have applied for appointments to our boards and commissions, and we're so grateful that you are willing to get involved with the city. And as I say your name and what you applied for, would you please stand so that we can see who you are and give you thanks for applying? Darren Clark for the Airport Advisory Committee. Thank you, Darren. And he is a pilot, which we're excited about. And then we have Michael Dugan for the Board of Zoning and Adjustments. Is Michael here? I didn't see him. And then Michael Ferguson for the Civil Service Commission. And that's a reappointment, I think. you've been on there. And it's Michael's night. Michael Petty to the Historic District Commission. Is he here?
No.
Okay. And Richard McGrew for the Planning Commission. I don't see Richard. Bob Reddish. We got Bob back on the transportation, except this is the committee, so we're glad to have him back down at the transportation area. And Byron Cole Rhodes for the Urban Forestry Advisory Commission.
And Brian White.
And Brian White for the Planning Commission. How did I fix it? You must have been in the middle of the Michaels. Okay, Michael Petty. Actually, I don't see it on here. Oh, there were two on there. Yes, I see you.
Yes. Give him a hand.
Thank you for applying. Okay.
Yes.
And the next item of business is to consider the consent agenda. Items in this section are of a routine nature and will be considered as one item of business without discussion. I will now entertain a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, and would you please call the roll?
Yes. Jones,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
McCabe,
Aye.
Garcia,
Aye.
Foley,
Aye.
Davidson,
Aye.
Carney.
Aye.
Adopted.
It is adopted. Okay. And the next item of business is to consider this is in the new business section, a resolution number R14-153. Council, would you please read the resolution by title?
Resolution R14-153, a resolution approving a contract to Quality Construction for Community Development Block Grant CDBG concrete construction projects. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you now entertain a motion second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Okay, do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Is there a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Mr. Carnahan.
Thank you very much. Last year, you voted into our budget $50,000 for sidewalk repairs in the city, and again this year, and that's wonderful, but this is an opportunity through the Community Development Block Grant Program to award a contract for $108,766 of additional sidewalk construction in the city, and that will be located on over in the Wade Park area, Vine Street, Hawthorne and Washita, Church Street at the Visitors Chapel, and on Malvern Avenue. We advertised for bids for this work, received 3 bids, and this company was the lowest unit price bidder for the project, so we want to award this work to their company. We're also following up in the next item with another award for some additional work, and together, let me just mention that together, these 2 projects will allow us to work in over 19,000 feet of sidewalk corridor. We won't be continuous sidewalk because we'll be doing a lot of repairs and handicap ramps, but there is some new sidewalks in gaps where the sidewalks are missing. Over 3.5 miles of sidewalk corridor, in addition to the work that you've already funded through the general fund. So we're very excited about that program. These are the projects that you approved a while back when you reassigned the Community Development Block Grant monies. So we're now getting ready to build those. And what we're asking, we can't actually sign the contract because we don't have the HUD final answer approval. So we're asking you tonight to give Mr. Watkins, our city manager, the authority to sign that contract as soon as the monies come in. Rather than for us to get on the city board agenda and wait for another meeting, we'd like to be able to strike when the iron is hot and have these contractors ready to go. So that's what we're asking your approval for.
Do we have any
Yes, ma'am.
questions?
And therefore, it is contingent on those grant funds being
Exactly.
received.
Right, and the resolution should say that it's contingent upon
I just wanted to
HUD
clarify that
giving
for
us
everyone.
Yeah, very good point, very good point. We can't do anything until we get that final approval.
Section 2 of your resolution.
Right.
Okay, any other discussion? Lance, do we have anybody sign up for anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Any other discussion by the directors?
I just would like to applaud you. You've done a great job.
Well, you know, Pat Watson has been out measuring a lot of sidewalks with community, folks from the community. The people that we really should brag on here are the people in these communities, the Gateway community, the Park Avenue community, Whittington area community. They have come to us and said, you know, here's where we need help, here's where we need help, please help us with this intersection, this problem. So we love the community involvement that is a part of all of this. It's really, really neat to be a part of.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? Thank you, Mr. Carnahan. Hearing no
Thank you.
further discussion, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Clark,
Aye.
McCabe,
Aye.
Garcia,
Aye.
Foley,
Aye.
Davidson,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Carney.
Aye.
Adopted.
Okay, it is adopted. And the next item of business is to consider resolution number R14-154. Council, would you please read by title?
Resolution R14-154, a resolution approving a contract to Hearst Concrete Construction, Inc. for Community Development Block Grant CDBG concrete construction projects. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you now entertain a motion second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
May I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. And Mr. Carnahan again.
Thank you. This is following on with the one you just approved. This contract, we awarded the bids to two contractors because the work has to be completed by November the 1st, or the majority of the work has to be completed by November the 1st. So they're basically going to have about a 60-day window to actually get this work completed, so we needed to divide it up to have plenty of manpower. This work is for projects that total $281,442. So if you've been adding together with the previous one and the $50,000 in the general fund, plus we have some money in our paving program that we're using to repair ADA ramps as we're doing the paving in different neighborhoods, we're pushing $500,000 in sidewalk repairs in the city, and I don't think that's ever been done before. So this is a banner year for pedestrian travel in Hot Springs, Arkansas. And this is a walking, running, jogging community, as you can see just about any evening, or just follow Director McCabe around and you'll figure that out pretty quickly. But this covers sidewalks in the Silver, Crescent, and Grand Avenue area over in what we call the Gateway area, Park Avenue, north and south, and reconstruction of the intersection at Glade Avenue and Mountain Valley, and some work over in the South Prospect, Quapaw, Court Street corner there. If anyone wants to walk from Central Avenue to Levi Hospital, they'll probably trip and fall a couple of times on the way up there, so we're trying to fix that. So if you have any other questions, otherwise this is similar to the other, where we're asking you to authorize the city manager to award the contract.
Okay. Any questions? Okay. Thank you so much. Hearing no further discussion, would you please call the roll?
Garcia,
Aye.
Foley,
Aye.
Davidson,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
McCabe,
Aye.
Carney.
Aye.
Adopted.
It is adopted. The next item of business is to consider resolution number R14-155. Council, would you please read the resolution by title?
Resolution R14-155, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a lease agreement with GRGCB LLC. That concludes your reading. If you now entertain a motion a second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Okay, do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Okay. And our staff person?
No, I'll do this one.
Okay.
Tonight, we have the privilege of having a developer, project owner, Gary Gibbs, who's been pursuing the purchase of the Austin Hotel from Mr. Austin, now his widow. And that project that he's been working on furiously, really for a year and a half, is kind of winding its way down toward the end. And one of the elements of that project that Brian Albright, Doretha, myself were involved in as a team was trying to price or come up with an arrangement where we could take the city's abandoned finance building on Malvern, which is just immediately to the south of the hotel, and lease that dirt to Mr. Gibbs for a tower site ultimately. So we toyed with whether or not to appraise it and then sell it or to enter into a ground lease. And what the appraisal showed was that the building was, because it's been vacant for quite some time, it's in pretty bad shape. So really the value of that property is the dirt. But to have the dirt, you got to knock down the building, which, as we know from experience, is rather expensive. So we're recommending to you that Brian can go into more detail, and I'd like to have Mr. Gibbs and Doug Arnold and anybody else come up and maybe elaborate on the project, because it's an exciting prospect for downtown. No question about it. Is a ground lease, requires Mr. Gibbs to tear down the building, dispose of it. Then we will in turn hold ownership of that land, but we will be getting an annual rent of about $20,000 a year, and that will ratchet up a little bit each year according to the CPI. Now, the value of this project is that if you talk to the A&P people, Steve Arison in particular, because he and I have been in many, many meetings with various funders, consultants, on behalf of Mr. Gibbs or other people inquiring about that hotel. One of the issues we have in Hot Springs right now is that we've got arguably the best convention center in the state. I don't think anybody would deny that. We got a very, very strong demand for conventions to come here. But there is concern about the lack of quality hotel space downtown. And as you mentioned, our city clerk friend from Bryant, that when you're putting together a convention, one of the cost factors you have to look at is the cost of transportation. And if you have to locate your membership out in the MLK Quarter, for example, down by the lake, that's an expensive proposition to work back into your the cost of the convention to the members. So it's real, we have this wonderful opportunity here to have two quality bookend hotels on both sides of the convention center. The current Austin Hotel, just read TripAdvisor and judge for yourself. But, we definitely know that with a Holiday Inn flag, which Mr. Gibbs has secured, that the standards of Holiday Inn plus the investment being made in this property will provide a synergistic mix between the two properties. And I definitely think that will be heralded by conventions who maybe are passing us by, or even larger conventions that would consider us if we had other additional hotel quality hotel rooms. So with that, I'll yield to Brian, and then I know Gary Gibbs wants to make a couple of comments, talk about what he's planning, which once again I think will be a huge stimulus for downtown. So with that, Brian?
The basic terms of the lease are 50 years. It's a ground lease only. As Mr. Watkins indicated, the city will retain ownership of the fee simple. There is the ability to do extensions after the initial 50-year term, 4 or 5-year extensions. The monthly ground rent will be $2,000, which is, minimal, I suppose, but as he's indicated, the investment that's being made in this property and the benefit that the city and this community as a whole will derive, I think, far exceed the dollar value that we'll receive monthly from the tenant. As a condition precedent of this lease agreement, which is under paragraph 27, page 22 of the lease, and page 151 of your packet, the building will need to be raised by the tenant prior to any other construction occupancy of the property. And so this will be the ability for us to remove a building that we no longer occupy and, quite frankly, is not capable of housing anything that we might want to make use of it. I know that Mr. Arnold's here, Mr. Gibbs is here. They have some plans that they can share with you about what they see as the vision of this property.
I might clarify something I said earlier. It's $2,000 a month, so it's really $24,000 a year with the escalator. You thought you'd save $4,000.
I like the number better, Dave. Good evening. I'm Gary Gibbs. Our company is based in Franklin, Tennessee, as well as southern Mississippi, and we have offices also in southeast Arkansas. We are real estate developers as well as other forms of diversified business. Our current plan is to purchase the Austin Hotel, do a complete remodel of the same. It's about a $19.5 million project. We currently are on track to try and get the USDA guarantee in place by September, close shortly thereafter, and begin construction. The reason we requested the long-term lease in this particular third and fourth phase, fifth phase of this development is we have studied the market for quite some time now, and we know that the ability to maintain the absolutely excellent convention space that you have currently requires quality hotel rooms, and those are sorely lacking in downtown Hot Springs. We're here to change that. Phase one would be 200 rooms, Holiday Inn, that level. Second phase would be all suites, 14 to 18-story high-rise. We're even thinking about a rooftop restaurant in the second phase. Overall, we're going to spend over $50 million over the next 2.5 years if all this comes to fruition. So that's currently our plan. We have secured a bank commitment for the first phase. We're just moving toward the guarantee. They have an overall surplus of funds in Washington, so we're taking advantage of the availability of that funding to complete this development. If you have any questions.
Any questions?
Exciting news.
And did you say you expect that to close in September or before the end of this year?
Forgive me, Brian. There are lawyers involved. It'll probably be October. Sorry, Brian.
Well, they're billing by the hour. That's good.
Exactly. No, we're trying to get underway as quickly as possible. I mean, we've spent a lot of time on this, and of course, unfortunately, Mr. Austin passed away. That was a delay, and reasonable difficulties going through something of this level with all the other moving parts involved. We're there now, and Doug's done a great job on the plans. We've got a good contractor, so we're moving forward. By the way, we are investors in Arkansas already. In southeast Arkansas in the last 4 years, I guess, 4 years, we spent over $50 million. So we're here for the long term and stay. So we hope you will entertain our request. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
I told him he'd aged a couple of years since I met him. How long you been working on this? Okay. Any other discussion? Any other questions? Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Yes. McCabe.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Foley.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Carney.
Aye. It is adopted. Thank you. Okay. Wow. Goodness, what time is it?
Get to see the pictures.
Yeah, okay. The next item of business is the Board of Directors' comments. Do you have any?
I just think it's a wonderful idea.
Yes.
It won't be the hood anymore, Doug.
We need some expansions. Thank you. Thanks so much. Okay, are there any other comments? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I just wanted to recognize Joy Black's service to the city of Hot Springs. Friday will be her last day with the city, not because...
Yeah. Don't you gloat back
because she's getting a promotion, but it's by taking a position in Bryant. And speaking for myself, I really appreciate the work that she's done in the finance department and with purchasing. She's been great to work with, and particularly most recently that her work on the CAFR, that is an excellent document that I use quite often, and I would expect Doretha will miss her, but I wish her well, but will miss her from the city of Hot Springs.
Yes.
Heather, we're going to need more than a plaque for that one. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That means you have to come here part-time and feel her. Anyway, okay, yes, we are very excited, and there will be a reception at the finance department for her on Friday at...
I think it's Thursday.
Thursday at
3.
3. Okay. And I always like going to their... They have good food up there. Okay, anyone else for announcements coming up or comments? Okay. Immediately following the adjournment of tonight's business, there will be a public commentary right here in the board chambers. And for those of you who will be leaving, please do so quietly, and we will have a few minutes of waiting after I adjourn. There being no further business, I will entertain a motion
I
to
move
adjourn.
that we adjourn, Mayor.
That's her full-time job. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. We are adjourned.